Namaste. Welcome to episode 18 of our 21 episode series From Achievement to Alignment. One of the greatest misconceptions we have about relationships is that they begin with the other person. They don't. Every relationship begins with us, the way we think, the way we interpret, the way we speak, we listen, the way we respond. Many of us believe that if the other person changes, the relationship will improve. If only they understood me better. If only they appreciated me enough. If only they communicated more differently. Perhaps you have thought all this. But what if the quality of every relationship is first shaped by the quality of our own inner world? Because every conversation you have with the other person is influenced by the conversation already happening within you. And that is why harmony is not merely a relationship skill, it's an inner practice. Today, I want to explore how yoga, the Bhagavad Gita, and positive psychology together offer a timeless blueprint for building relationships that are not just successful but deeply aligned. Every relationship is a meeting of two worlds, two stories, two childhoods, two families, two belief systems, two emotional histories, two set of expectations. Naturally, misunderstandings arise. But often the conflict isn't created by the situation itself. It is created by the expectations we silently carry. In REBT, Albert Ellis reminds us that emotional suffering often begins when our preferences become rigid demands. Right? I would like my partner to understand me. Slowly becomes they must understand me. I hope my children appreciate my efforts. Eventually becomes my children should appreciate everything I do. I'd like my parents to accept my choices. Would become my parents have to accept my choices. The moment our preferences become demands, disappointment follows. Relationships become heavy because we expect people to behave according to the script we have written in our minds. Wisdom asks us to stop caring about these scripts. It asks us to replace demands with understanding. One of the reasons I love the Bhagavad Gita is because it wasn't taught in isolation. Krishna didn't teach Arjun inside a peaceful ashram. He taught him right in the middle of life's most complicated relationships. Arjun wasn't confused about the strangers. He was overwhelmed because the people standing before him in the battlefield were his own teachers, friends, relatives, people he deeply loved. Krishna never encouraged him to abandon the relationships, nor did he ask him to simply please everyone. Instead, he guided Arjun towards Dharma, because Dharma asks a different question. It doesn't ask what will make everyone happy, but it will ask what is the wisest and most compassionate action in this moment. Sometimes Dharma looks like patience, sometimes it may look like courage or forgiveness. Or sometimes it may also look like setting a healthy boundary. Harmony is not avoiding difficult conversations. Harmony is having these difficult conversations without losing your inner balance. Patanjali begins the Yoga Sutras, the Ashtanga Yoga, with Ahimsa, non-violence. Most of us think of violence as something physical, but relationships are rarely damaged by a physical force. They are damaged by subtle violence, by the harsh assumptions, sarcasm, the dismissive words, or silent resentment. The arguments we rehearse inside our minds long before we ever speak. Violence often begins internally. Ahimsa invites us to interrupt that internal cycle. Ahimsa invites us to pause, to breathe, to respond rather than react. Patanjali then gives us another beautiful insight. He talks about Maitri, Karuna, Mudita. Cultivate Maitri, friendliness, Karuna, compassion. Every difficult person is carrying a story we cannot fully see. When we shift from asking, what's wrong with this person, to what might this person be carrying, our relationships automatically will begin to soften. Compassion doesn't mean being agreeable and agreeing with everyone. It means remembering their humanity, that the other person is also as much human as I am. Interestingly, modern science is arriving at similar conclusions. Positive psychology tells us that thriving relationships are built through small, consistent moments of connection. It's not grand, romantic gestures or perfect communication. It's simple moments, being fully present, listening without interrupting, expressing the appreciation, celebrating someone else's success. Psychologist Shelley Gable describes something called active constructive responding. When someone shares good news, instead of immediately comparing it with yourself or giving some advice or changing the subject, we should become genuinely curious, celebrate with them, ask questions, allow their joy to grow, be a part of that joy. Because one of the deepest human needs is not simply to be loved, it is to be felt seen. Like everybody wants to feel deeply seen. And when people feel that they are deeply seen, relationships automatically flourish. There is a beautiful prayer from the Ganapati Atharvashirsha that I have reflected upon many times. It says, Avavaktaram, Avashrotaram, Avadataram, Avadhataram. Traditionally, this prayer or rucha seeks Lord Ganesha's blessings. But I also like to reflect on these expressions as qualities I want to embody in my own relationships. Avavaktaram. May I become a conscious speaker. May my words heal more than hurt. May I speak kindly and truthfully. Because words have the power to build trust or quietly break it. Avashrotaram. May I become a better listener. Not someone who listens only to reply, but someone who listens to understand. Many relationships don't need better advice, they need deeper listening. Avadataram. May I become a giver, A giver not only of things, but of encouragement, of time, presence, appreciation, patience. The most meaningful gifts are often invisible. Can I give them? And our Dhataram. May I become someone who sustains and holds relationships. Someone whose presence creates stability, who becomes an anchor during uncertainty, who brings calm instead of chaos. Imagine beginning each day with these four reflections. How will I speak today? How will I listen today? How will I strengthen the relationships entrusted in me today? And how will I give today? That to me is truly sadhana for the relationships that we have. And this is where Dharma becomes beautifully practical. Not only during meditation or while reading the sacred texts, but at the our normal breakfast table conversations or any random conversation we have with our spouse, our children, how we care for our parents, right? How we present ourselves at our workplace, in how we speak to ourselves after making a mistake. Every relationship becomes an opportunity to practice who we are becoming. Healthy relationships are not built by finding perfect people. They are built by becoming a more conscious human being. When your inner world becomes more peaceful, your relationships naturally become more harmonious. Observe it. It's not because everyone changes, but it's because you change. Today, I invite you to carry this simple prayer with you, not only as words to recite, but as values to live. May I speak with wisdom. May I listen with compassion. May I give with generosity. May I sustain with responsibility. Because harmony isn't created in extraordinary moments. It is created in ordinary conversations, repeated with the extraordinary awareness. And when we practice this every day, repeatedly, our relationships become places where both people can grow, can be fully aware. So let this be your reminder. Aligned relationships, harmonious life. Namaste.